now we've seen this proliferation of deepfakes coming in visual, facial, in voice. There's a few recent things that I'm sure a lot of people have seen. There's an app I read about recently that was created the app itself was one of these innocuous enough, scan your face and make a meme of yourself. But the purpose was to take a facial, send it off, and turn it into an identity using a deepfake. So anybody who used the app was basically then having their face turned into a deepfake puppet and being able to be spoofed. There was a recent case of a CEO fraud where a business had a video call with their CEO, it was their CFO, and who instructed them to send 25 million euros, I think it was, or dollars to what ended up being to a fraudster. So a classic, CEO fraud, which usually involves some impersonation, but traditionally would have been through a bogus email or maybe even hacking into the systems themselves. But quite often it was less sophisticated, either through a fax, an email, etc. Now we're talking about the sophistication of deepfakes good enough to sit in front of somebody having a conversation like we're having today and convince them to send money. I mean, that you got to be amazed at the kind of acceleration, the evolution of the acceleration that's happened in the last 6 months to a year.
Yeah, and I think it has developed so quickly, even more quickly than those who've been working on generative AI believed we'd get to this stage. So you can imagine how quickly and how more plausible and persuasive social engineering will be when it's not just an email purporting to be from the CEO, which could be spoofed. So the tools have been using spoofing the email headers and persuasive language, and even a phone call. But if that phone call comes back, or it's a video call which looks like the boss telling you to transfer that money, I can see how this is going to be much more plausible. I mean, one of the scary things we have not yet to see, but I think could come, is the WhatsApp mum and dad scam, where the social engineering is trying to create panic. Your child is traveling in Colombia and they've lost their credit cards and they need some money sent, and their mobile's been lost, and all that sort of thing on a WhatsApp message. It can still be scary enough for people to send that. If that's a video message from what looks like to be your son, daughter, or a relative, friend elsewhere, that's going to be even more persuasive. So I can see we are on the cusp of another evolution of social engineering, and we're starting to see it. But I think also around using AI to evade the onboarding checks. So for creating a fictitious or synthetic identities to get valuable loans, products, bank accounts, credit cards, any sort of product through the onboarding journey brought in now to identify a genuine individual based on selfies and documents. Now, we've already seen very good, high quality fake identity documents being produced by AI, plus this kind of selfies, videos, all the things we've been bringing in, or technologists have been bringing in, like when we brought in facial recognition to then have liveness checks and others. We're going to have to up our game yet again, aren't we? And to be able to detect those. So we think we're just kind of getting on top of a problem, and technology, which fraudsters are always one of the first to adopt new technologies, but without any of the thoughts of what we're having to do around ethics of AI and how we use AI in ethical ways, how we keep data secure, how we keep people's personal information secure. They just jump ahead of that. But it's just, that's what makes this world fascinating, David, in my view, is that we have got an adversary who is smart, creative, and innovative, which gives us the challenge to be even smarter, more creative,